What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video. Continuing this series, we're doing a Green Bay Packers deep dive for the 2022 to 2023 season. So, if y'all are new, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube jazz. Without further ado, let's kick right into the video because, a lot of you guys might be wondering why I'm doing this because, again, this series gets almost no traction. It does slow down the channel a lot. But one, I'm learning every single team just because it's really good to know. Obviously, no shit. But also, it's a fun way to bring you guys in, get some of you guys who are kind of like those niche fans that are looking for like Green Bay Packers content. Because also, we're going to be doing 7-round mocks. We'll be re-reviewing the guys who are up for contracts, all that fun stuff. But also, I'm actually going to be doing a mock draft based on my records predictions. So we're going to actually have a custom order. It's going to be fun. So that's why I continue doing this. It does make content that you can put out every day, but also it's just also really cool that we have that opportunity. So let's dive right into the roster. And I'm just kidding. I'm playing around. You guys know the drill on this. We're going right into the rookies. Start off with the first round. I thought it was very underwhelming. Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt. Quay Walker, I had more as like a late second, early third. Devontae Wyatt, I had him as a late first. He was really good, but I really didn't see the value there for either of them, just to be blunt. Deep linebacker class, and I honestly thought that interior defensive linemen like Travis Jones were better. He's still my number three interior, but I do like Devontae Wyatt. He's a good player, no doubt about it. He's really good. It's just I'm not as stoked as I would have wanted to be. You had Christian Watson on the board, which you ended up getting anyways. So good for you. But in that moment, I was a little bit worried, which you'll see the grade down below is representative of my thoughts of the whole draft. Just on night one, I was a bit underwhelmed. But Christian Watson was a really nice addition. You pretty much replaced MVS with MVS with maybe a little bit more. So love that for you guys. Sean Ryan has an 11.4 pass blocking grade right now, which is atrocious. He's let up 0 pressures, but again, I've watched almost every single snap. He doesn't look that good. He's a developmental blocking guard, just to be honest. He's a developmental run blocking guard. So again, he can take he's not someone you're going to want to stick in day one and pray to God that he's going to be a lockdown pass protector because he's not going to be. You got Romeo Dubs here, who's been flashing out. I thought that was a great pick. Zach Tom, I was highlighting this like heavily when the draft came around. Zach Tom to me was an early second round pick. I saw that he honestly could have been an amazing left tackle. I really had faith in him. Very Charles Crossy, but also he plays center or guard, and he's been balling out. I actually have my notes over here. He hasn't. I think it's an 84.2 overall grade, and it's very well balanced. So looking great so far in the preseason. Kingsley Enagbare also, he has 7 pressures right at the moment, and I had a first round grade on him. He's been playing very well. Tariq Carpenter, very solid depth player. Jonathan Ford, he's there. Even Rasheed Walker, I didn't really think that he's that good, but it's a good depth piece. So overall, I really liked the draft. You really kicked ass on day 3. That's what really sets like the winning teams away from like the teams that can actually have hope in the future. You pretty much got, in my opinion, 3 starters right there with your first 3 day 3 picks with Dubs, Tom, and Nagbari. So yeah, no, you guys did a great job there. Let's go actually into the roster like I was talking about earlier. And we got Aaron Rodgers here. Obviously, there's a lot of drama surrounding Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully, that doesn't really equate to a drop on his on-field performance because he is arguably the best quarterback who's ever played. Granted, not in the postseason, but sometimes that's it's. I'm not going to get into that. There's no reason for that. This is not an Aaron Rodgers hate show because I think he's extremely talented. Underrated by some, but overrated by also a lot of people. It's really weird. I feel like most players don't actually have a proper representation of their talent. Aaron Rodgers is a stud, but also I do think there are quarterbacks that are performing better. Jordan Love, it's been a bumpy ride. I was happy I put him below Justin Herbert in like the first draft I ever did. A lot of the people on his own team didn't like him. One of my buddies was the long snapper for Utah State, and he didn't believe in Jordan Love either. So It kind of sucks. He throws a lot of picks. A lot of people like see the high level plays, but when you're throwing, I think it was like 19 interceptions in his final college season, there's just a certain level to which you can reach. And if you're going to continue making mistakes, which I believe against the Lions, he threw 2 picks late and lost the game, that's what's going to happen. Danny Etling is also a really good backup as well. I remember he had like an 80-yard touchdown rush for the Patriots, I think, during his rookie preseason. So that's pretty fun. Running backs, Aaron Jones, love it. A.J. Dillon. I thought that was a big reach at the time, given the fact that Aaron Jones is a monster and they had Jamal Williams. I still think it was because, I mean, if I'm going to spend a second-round pick on a running back, I'm going to start him, and you just haven't. So, again, it's not that A.J. Dillon's bad by any stretch of the imagination. He's a very good player. It was just an extreme overpay. But, of course, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you get somebody. If they're on your roster, they're on your roster. Everybody here is having 4-year deals. So, he's a good player. Kylan Hill, I think, is a very nice backup as well. Same thing with Tyler Goodson. You have a pretty solid running back core right there. Let's look at the receivers. Losing Devontae Adams is not fun. You have an aging Randall Cobb who's getting definitely overpaid, but he got it back when he was 29 years old. Obviously, you can tell based on his contract. Actually, no, I'm tripping. So that includes this year and then next year. So he got it at 31 years old. That was still an overpay. Doesn't matter how much of a friend you are of Aaron Rodgers. Randall Cobb is not an elite level wide receiver, and at that time, that was fairly top tier for his age in the wide receiver free agent market. Christian Watson, again, hopefully he can remain healthy. I didn't know he was 23. I thought he was 21. That's a little bit concerning because he has a lot of development that he hasn't had. So I'm praying that he can get that. Amari Rodgers, we're still waiting for him to be healthy as well as dynamic. He's a really good player. We just want to see it be consistent. Romeo Doubs, I really did like that pick a lot, and he's starting to show out. Sammy Watkins in here as well. Travis Fulgham, I don't know if he's actually going to make the team. I really hope he does because that'd be a really nice big body on the outside. Like, if it were up to me, I go Watkins. This isn't in any order, by the way. I'd have Watkins, Fulgham, Doubs, Rodgers, Watson on the squad, and then Allen Lazard as well. I know Allen Lazard is supposed to be the one, and then you could debate on keeping Randall Cobb. But given the guaranteed, I guess you're not going to be saving any money by getting rid of him. That's an expensive contract. Jeez, I need his agent. But I would keep those guys. Samori Toure, you guys can give me an update on that. I don't remember because I looked through every team's grading scale and don't remember where Toure was in this preseason, nor Danny Davis. I could tell he's injured right there. Juwan Winfrey's not bad either. So, Osiris Mitchell's on the squad. I like Osiris Mitchell. So going to the tight ends, this is a big issue for me because Robert Tonyan was able to kind of step in and be good enough, but he's on a 1-year contract. That's a little bit concerning to me. Josiah DeGuara is also a very good player, but I'm pretty sure he's not exactly going to be a number 2 tight end. He's a very good number 3. And then Mercedes Lewis. I mean, this guy balls out, even though he's 38 years old. Still not worth starting, in my opinion. Lissier Max, not bad either. Like, overall, I think it's okay. I don't think it's good. And I think the receiving core is a little bit underrated now, given the fact that you do have a lot of solid weapons. Still one of the worst in the NFL, but, people are saying it's like hands down the worst. It's not. Like, you have actual weapons. And even in the tight end room, Robert Tonyan's not too shabby of a tight end 1. But tackle-wise, I think that Sean Ryan is a guard. I mean, even I think Chip Kelly said he was a guard. Zach Tom, I love Zach Tom. I think he'd be a true left tackle. I think he'd be a center. I think he'd be a guard. I think I would have spent, if I were the Patriots, I would have sent that first-round pick for Zach Tom over Cole Strange. That's just me. Royce Newman's had his moments in the sun. Rasheed Walker's going. I don't know how long he's going to be there, but, power to him. Let's look. Where's David Bakhtiari? He's been having some knee issues, if I'm not mistaken. He was saying that it's kind of like a rolling of the dice as to the health of his joints. So not a huge fan of that. But if you could start Zach Tom at tackle or put Elton Jenkins at tackle, that'd be pretty cool. because again, you could put Zach Tom anywhere, but John Runyon, not too shabby either. I'm not liking the depth there, but again, we saw how many tackle guard hybrids you have. Then you have Josh Myers, who has been playing very well. I was actually a fan of Josh Myers. A lot of people didn't like him, but I actually had like a third on him. I said I like him, but like I had probably like an early third. I thought he went right where he should have, and he's a good player. And then you have some good depth pieces here. I honestly think that we've kind of underrated the Packers offense a little bit. And I'm not saying this to get you guys to love me. I mean, I was raised a Bears and Steelers fan, so I have no reason to have any allegiance. That just shows you I don't give a shit about biases. Building from the defensive line out, Kenny Clark's a baller. Same thing with Devontae Wyatt. And to Daryl Slayton as well. I like Daryl Slayton a lot. You got Dean Lowry in here, Kingsley Enagbare. Like, you have some really good players going right now. And then you got your pass rushers here. Preston Smith is back. That's great. That was huge. You brought back Devondre Campbell on that deal. Great. Rashawn Gary's going off. Like, this defense is definitely top tier. Even look at the linebackers. If I'm not mistaken, where's the inside linebacker? The hell, man. You guys are tripping me up. Quay Walker, he has actually been performing pretty well compared to most linebackers because a lot of them take an adjustment period. Granted, he has so much help around him that I don't think he needs to. Isaiah McDuffie's good. Tariq Carpenter's a safety linebacker hybrid, so love that. Even Chris Barnes. Like, I'm starting to really have some faith in this team because a lot of people are saying, oh, they're going to be like a sub 10 win team. I don't believe that. We might be flipping some games. Again, health will factor in reality, but since everybody's going to get injuries, it's fair just to say, hey, I'm not going to flip a game because I'm going to say, oh, people are going to be injured. Everybody's going to get injured. It's just who is going to get injured. That's a big issue. But corner, you got Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes. Was a big fan of Eric Stokes. I thought that he should have went to a different team. I thought Tyson Campbell was the better option. Tyson hasn't had as good of a career. Granted, it's been on the Jaguars, so not really a great spot to show out. I think that Eric Stokes would have been better probably in Jacksonville. Tyson Campbell would have been better here. I thought Eric Stokes was a little bit better in just pure zone coverage. I didn't think he was as good in man. He ended up testing 4.24, if I'm not mistaken, at his pro day, so power to him. He's a good player. I had an early second on him, and he's performing like a first-round pick. Like, again, you can't go wrong going corner, and they hit a good one. Shamar Jean Charles, also really good. Same thing with Rasul Douglas. He had a resurgent year. So good for these guys. I don't like the depth past that. Like, that's kind of been the issue. They performed really well, regardless, however, without Jair Alexander. So, I can't really complain too much because the proof's in the pudding, but I'm just a little bit worried after Shamar Jean Charles, the depth here. It's a nitpick. Safety wise, ending this off, I think there's a free safety in here. Adrian Amos from the Bears, solid ass player. Really do like that. The clouds are coming by and totally changing up the lighting every like 10 seconds. Gotta love it. You got Darnell Savage here. Big fan of him too. I will say there's a lack of actual safety talent beyond that. I'll just say that, but I like Sean Davis. That's a good piece right there. But besides that, not really a huge fan of that safety room. I think really the weaknesses lie, receivers, always going to be a little bit of an issue, but tight end, huge one for me. Guard, but you have a lot of guard tackle hybrids, and you have one spot filled by an all-pro. Again, kind of a nitpick. A defensive line, you're doing great. Linebackers, you're honestly doing pretty fine. It's just really depth at those secondary positions, which could get you. So let's go right into it. We're right now 10-5. We might be flipping some games. Week 1, I'm going to give it to the home team. Just usually, again, you're going to be leaving your own home stadium to be able to go and play against a very hot team that you don't have much tape on. Again, new head coach that's offensive coordinated or offensively minded. That's probably a better way to say it. But I think that that's just a good way to start off. They have a really good run game. Quay Walker is still developing, and I think that Dalvin Cook breaks that first level, and that's where things can get a little dicey. Then you got the Buccaneers. So you're going to Tampa. I'm going to be honest. I'm giving this to Tampa. We don't have to talk about the Bears, right? They're complete garbage. I gave them a 1-16 record. Now it's being very, very, very polite by doing that because I honestly think that they should have went 0-17. We're just having that little bit of wiggle room there. The Buccaneers are going to be coming out hot. Their offensive line has had some issues, so I can definitely see this being an upset game. But again, you're in Tampa in the heat during week 3. That's just really tough to play in. Tampa's used to it. Green Bay, not as much. I would say it can get pretty muggy up in the north, but I mean, I just really do think that Tampa could it's just a weird environment. I do think that you guys are going to beat these 3 teams hands down. There's just no need to talk about it. This one is interesting because if we're assuming full healthiness here, this defense is really damn good. And their defense is actually pretty good too. But we're gonna flip it. We are. I'm gonna give that to you guys. I mean, I really want to give Washington a little bit more credit than 6-11, but I do think this Packers team is very underrated. The corners just haven't proven themselves, and the safeties, you have Cam Curl, and then you're pretty much with Percy Butler. Not a huge fan of that. So I do think you could stretch the defense in this aspect. The linebackers are a little bit rough, and we don't know, honestly, because right now it's a short-term IR, but Chase Young is not healthy. But week 8, the Bills are fully rested. You're in Buffalo. I'm going to give that one to them. I think you guys can understand that. Beating the Lions are a good team. I give them a 7-10 record. They're a good team. But again, I do believe in you guys. Cowboys, they don't have the weapons required. They just lost Tyron Armstead. So not good. You have the Packers here. I think they can beat the Titans. I do. I think by that time, Quay Walker might get his groove. The defensive front is very stout. The Eagles. So this might be a game that I flip because I have the Eagles going 14-3. I am a huge, huge, huge believer in the Eagles. Again, assuming no injuries. So this is a potential flip game. I'm going to keep it as is, but just know that I'm in the middle on this one. Usually I'll go with the home team. You are in Philadelphia as the season progresses. The Bears are complete crap. The Rams are good, but I'm going to be giving this to you guys. The Dolphins, I mean, you're going to Miami again. It's just a really different environment, and the Dolphins have some very good weapons. And again, you have 2 really good safeties, but like we do have to factor in injuries a little bit. Something could happen, and if you have absolutely no depth, I'm going to kind of lean towards the team with explosive playmakers. Then yeah, you guys are closing out the season. So where does that put you guys at? 12-5. That's pretty damn good. And again, this is kind of a game that you could win, you could lose. I'm giving it to them. And then like this game, depending on the O-line health, if the offensive line's not good, I'm flipping this game. Like that's really dependent on that. The Bills are just super powerful. You have a tough schedule because again, I think the Eagles are a powerhouse. I do. Even their linebackers are good. The safeties are the only issues, and then you have top tier corners. Darius Slay he's getting kind of like roasted for getting torched by Tyreek Hill. He kept up with him step for step before rolling his ankle. So I think that he can be perfectly fine versus the deep threats for Green Bay. So that's going to be the video, guys. You guys, of course, are going to be leading your division, kicking ass per usual. A lot of people believe in the Vikings. I don't fully. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.